The Blacksmith and His Son. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a blacksmith and his son. The blacksmith was known for his skill in making tools and weapons from iron. One day, the son came to his father and said, "Father, I want you to make me a knife. But not just any knife. I want one with a very sharp edge." The blacksmith looked at his son and asked, "Son, what will you do with such a sharp knife? Tell me, why do you need it?" The son gave him a vague answer. "I just want it. That's all." Seeing that his son was serious and insistent, the blacksmith agreed to make the knife. After much hard work, the blacksmith created a beautiful, sharp knife and handed it to his son. When the son held the knife in his hands, he felt a sudden rush of power. He thought he could do anything now. And in his mind, he became stronger and braver. The son felt a dangerous sense of confidence. And soon, he began to threaten his father. "Father," he said, his voice filled with arrogance, "go to the king's palace and ask for the princess's hand in marriage for me. If you don't do it, I will kill you with this knife." The blacksmith was shocked and terrified. He never expected such a change in his son. The blacksmith began to tremble. He thought to himself, "What should I do? If I go to the king, he might have me killed for such an unreasonable request. But if I don't go, my own son will kill me." 4 hours. The blacksmith thought about his options. And eventually, he made a painful decision. He decided that it would be better to die with honor at the king's palace than to die dishonored by his own son. So, the blacksmith, with a heavy heart, set off to the king's palace. When he arrived, he stood in front of the king and nervously said, "Your Majesty, I have come to ask for the hand of the princess in marriage for my son." Hearing this, the king became very angry. "How dare you, a mere blacksmith, come and ask for my daughter's hand in marriage? Do you think I will give her to you?" The king's face turned red with fury. He immediately thought about having the blacksmith executed. But at that moment, the king's wise minister stepped forward. The minister was calm and intelligent, and he whispered in the king's ear, "Your Majesty, if you kill this man, people will laugh at you. They will say that a king was so cruel to a poor blacksmith. It will bring shame to your kingdom. Perhaps we should handle this situation with more wisdom." The king listened to the minister, and the minister suggested a clever idea. "We can make the blacksmith's son complete a task so difficult that no one in the world has ever done it before. If he succeeds, we will allow him to marry the princess. If he fails, we can send him away without causing any trouble." The king agreed to this plan. He turned to the blacksmith and said, "I will allow your son to marry the princess, but only if he can complete a task that has never been done before. He must do something so extraordinary that no one has ever seen or heard of it." The blacksmith, filled with fear and confusion, returned home to tell his son the king's challenge. The son, though still proud and confident, did not know what task he could do that was truly unique. Together, the father and son left their village to try and find a way to complete the king's challenge. They traveled for many days and nights. One evening, they found themselves deep in a thick forest. There, under a large tree, they saw an unusual sight. An old man was sitting calmly, his feet resting in a fire. Flames were rising from the fire, but the man did not seem hurt. All around him, yellow flowers were scattered on the ground. The blacksmith and his son watched in awe. The old man was cooking food in a pot over the fire, but he showed no signs of pain. He was eating and talking as if nothing unusual was happening. His feet were in the fire, yet he looked completely at peace. The blacksmith, unable to believe his eyes, approached the old man. "How are you sitting in the fire without being burned?" he asked. The old man smiled and said, "This is not magic. I have trained my body and mind to endure the fire. It is all about control, controlling your mind, your feelings, and your pain. This is a skill that can be learned with patience and hard work." The blacksmith was amazed. His son, too, looked at the old man in wonder. "This is the task that the king spoke of," the blacksmith thought. "If my son can learn this skill, he will accomplish something that no one has ever done before." The blacksmith then asked the old man, "Will you teach my son this skill? He has to do something that no one in the world has ever done. Can you help him?" The old man agreed and took the son as his student. He began teaching him how to endure the fire, how to control his body and mind, and how to stay calm in the most difficult situations. The son learned that true strength does not come from power or violence, but from inner peace, patience, and wisdom. The blacksmith and his son stayed with the old man for several months. The son became stronger, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. He learned how to control his impulses and how to stay calm even in the most dangerous situations. Finally, the day came when the son felt ready to return to the king. The blacksmith and his son went back to the palace, and the son proudly explained to the king what he had learned during his training. He told the king about the fire, about controlling his body and mind, and about the inner strength that came from peace and patience. The king, seeing the transformation in the son, was impressed. He realized that the son had completed a task that was truly unique, something no one had ever done before. The king agreed to the marriage and gave his blessing. The son married the princess and became a wise and fair ruler. The son married the princess and became a wise and fair ruler. He ruled with kindness and compassion, always remembering the lessons he had learned from the old man in the forest. As for the blacksmith, he lived to see his son become a great leader. On his deathbed, the blacksmith gave his son one final piece of advice: "Remember, my son, true strength lies in your heart, not in weapons. Always use your wisdom and love to guide others. The son took his father's advice to heart and became a ruler known for his wisdom and fairness. He ruled the kingdom justly and made it a place of peace and prosperity. And so, the blacksmith's legacy lived on. Not through weapons, but through the wisdom and compassion of his son.